you sleep in another place, and the bear bags are hung in another place, and your packs are outside of that triangle, and they call it the Bermuda Triangle. So really, no smellables are supposed to be near where you're sleeping. So, and in principle, any clothes that you are wearing during food preparation or eating, you're not supposed to wear those in the tent at night. Those are Philmont rules. And during your training hikes, of course, you can do whatever you want, but that's what they expect you to do in Philmont. And we pretty much followed that rule.
Do they have you put toothpaste up too?
Yes,
everything.
All smellables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cosmetics, everything. Actually, they forbade deodorant. So, but these are all reasonable precautions. Like if you go to Whitney Portal, where the Forest Service campground, most people start their hike up Mount Whitney. They have pictures of bears eating motor oil, cans of Raid, antifreeze. So anything that smells or that's in a package, bears, can go after. The other thing that was really different for me in Philmont is I've never crossed so many streams before. I think one day the trail back from fish camp, I think we crossed the stream probably 20 times, and on the last day of the hike out, we crossed another stream probably a dozen times, and so no one's got hiking boots on, but if I were to go again, I'd probably try to get a pair of boots that do not have Gore-Tex liners, because Gore-Tex is great to keep out the wet the first couple times, but once your boot gets wet, it makes it really hard to get dry. But the boys are really kind of persnickety, I think, the first couple times, but then they just kind of like skipped across the streams, and everyone got quite used to it.
So are they streams that you have to ford? You have to go with.
Oh, it's everything from ford to actually, I think it was Ryan Moore. I would send him not to see how deep they were. I mean, they never like up. I think one time Ryan was like up to the bottom of his shorts, but they were all pretty easy crossings. But there was of course, as adult leaders, we're responsible for safety, so we always had to.
Get a rope?
No, we didn't have a rope, but we had to have people cross one at a time, and we're ready to make things happen if something needed to happen. But there was never any real force in the water, but it was just a lot of water to cross.
Okay, because that's not necessarily lightweight. It's possible to have the force of the stream, right? That you would then have ropes and
We never
ropes
really
and
had to
carry
do
the
that.
packs loosely so they can throw it off if they.
Right. Pretty much all we did was just unbuckle our packs.
Yeah, they're all established fords on the trail. In fact, you cannot leave the trail. There's no cross-country hiking in Philmont. So these are all regular paths, and if there had been a risk like you were describing, they would close the trail.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I have a question. So when I've been backpacking before, I've taken a little pair of aqua shoes kind of thing for doing crossings. I don't like crossing in my boots, and I don't like getting my boots wet and having to dry them out and dry out my socks. So would you recommend that?
Probably not, because there's not time, right? You want to get everyone across, you want to keep on hiking. Some of the boys get hiked with their wet socks.
Because I heard boys complaining about last time having a lot of blisters because having wet feet from all the fordings, and I'd almost rather them be, dry and do something like that. Take a couple minutes to change out.
Well, each individual leader will have to is free to make those choices on their own, but I can't recall. I had a blister that I was putting duct tape on. I don't think we had that problem in our crew. At least no one disclosed it. But each individual adult leader has the discretion to do what they think is necessary to, that's for the safety and health of the crew. So
I'm just thinking of the one day where we crossed the stream every 3 or 4 minutes. We were just crossing, and then you'd hike for maybe 30, 40, 50 yards, and then there'd be another crossing. And so you usually
shoes
in that case, you might just want to leave on the water shoes and just
keep going on.
That's what
it's
you
not
do.
like you're going that far.
But then there might be a quarter mile or a half mile where
the issue issue with the water shoes then you're hiking on a rocky trail without your boots, so.
Right, so you have to decide whether it's worth it.
How bad were in the stream beds in terms of how rocky they were in your forest?
They're all pretty rocky.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, they could be pretty rocky.
if I were the truly adult advisor, I would not want to avoid hiking with a 40-pound pack and water shoes, but
No.
that would be my choice because I'd be responsible. So
you're hiking for a few days with damp boots, basically.
Yeah, in my case, my boots almost never completely dried out after the first
that's why
days or so.
That's why if I were to go again, I would. I mean, it's getting harder and harder to get boots without Vortex. But if you do have, I mean, like 10 years ago,
Leather.
you could. But Merrill, I think the last couple of models they had, they might not have discontinued them, but they no longer sell them at REI. But a non-Vortex boot will dry out in like 20 minutes of hiking if it stops raining. But yeah, so that's an
So
issue.
I don't think any of us tried it, but somebody said once that if you actually put a plastic bag over your socks, but inside the boots while you're going through the streams, at least your socks don't get wet. The boot gets wet, but at least your socks will stay dry. And then if you think you're going through a stretch where you're not going to be doing a lot of stream crossings, then take the plastic bags off and then hike with at least dry socks.
Yeah.
So
Vaseline under feet.
yeah, none of us actually tried that. So it's all theory at the end. We thought, well, maybe we should have tried that, but we never.
So you want to unpack your pack and show them what you got in it, Dan?
Okay, all right. So this is going to be pretty freeform. It's just whatever comes out of the bag first. So if you look at the last page, what Dan would do differently, I think I would take some other shoes for in camp. And these are actually light Crocs, except these are about the lightest things I could find. They're about 10 ounces for the pair. And Gary Ferguson, one of the adult advisors in our crew, actually took something like this. And these are cheap. These are $10 at Marshalls. If you want to have those.
Did the kids bring tennis shoes and
Yes,
things like that?
That's what I'm
Some of the kids
thinking.
brought sneakers.
That's
Well,
exactly
for the
what I'm
Tarletons,
thinking,
the dad and the scout,
See, that's
they
what
went
I
to the sporting goods store and found some sprint shoes, some Nike sprint shoes. They were really light.
Yeah.
They were as light as those, but they were silver colored. And they ended up taking the spikes off because they were sprinting shoes. And so actually in the headquarters, they were trying to wear down the edge of the spikes that the spikes were screwed into to smooth it down a little bit. Okay, one of the things that's really recommended is a waterproof tarp for the group. This is group gear. So we got a 10 by 12 tarp from Campmore that's not too heavy. And this includes everything. It's got the guy lines. It's got something that I bought from Black Mountain that allows you to take 2 trekking poles, put them together, and make a long pole. So Bruce and I both brought trekking poles. So we had 2 kits that allowed us to have a pole about this long and use that as our group tarp. And generally when we got into a camp, the first thing we do is set that up in case it started raining. Then the group would have some shelter while they're setting up their own individual tents and getting meals together. The rest of this is rain gear. You definitely want waterproof pants. And you can actually buy some relatively inexpensive ones at Philmont. They're red, what's
Red Ledge.
Red Ledge. Okay, they're about $30. They're breathable, waterproof, and they're fairly lightweight. So it's a good deal. Yeah. Now I experimented with some sailcloth chaps. These are really light, but they only come up to here. So then lately I've been experimenting with a little skirt that covers the rest of it. But you can see how light those are. These are a little on the pricey side. And when it's raining really heavily, you don't have this protection in the midriff. So I guess I recommend a full rain suit, including the jacket. So this is a Go Light. This is pretty typical of fairly lightweight, waterproof, but breathable. And breathable